Welcome to My Love of Life Energy. I'm Anna Scott, your host. I love beautiful, rich conversations that reveal the truth, beauty, and uniqueness of each person I meet, and I'm honored to share them with you. Good morning and good afternoon, and welcome to my podcast, My Love of Life Energy. And I'm honored to have Brownell Landrum again in the house. Welcome, Brownell.
Hi, I'm so excited about today. I'm like so bursting with excitement.
So we met because Brownell reached out to me and wanted to be on my podcast, and I fell in love with her. Just a magical being, her and her book about wishes. And I can feel it. Last time we talked about the wish, and when you even say it, how good it feels.
Yeah, the word wish, isn't it beautiful? Just wish. It's like this beautiful release. Yeah.
And I just love it. And when Brownell emailed me, she had done some research and she saw that I'm a lover of the Gene Keys. And she said, well, what is this? And can you share about it? And so that's what we're going to do today, because she's my experience in the hour that I've known you is you're a very generous soul. And the way that you introduced this, you said, well, why don't we record it and you could share it to your audience, but I could also share it to my Facebook. And the generosity of spirit that you have is so beautiful.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
So we're going to go over but before I bring up your Gene Key profile, tell me what interested you and then what you've learned so far, because that's what's the most is what you see, not what I see, but what you see.
Well, I don't know. I'm interested in what you see. And I just want to make sure anybody watching this or hearing this is like, I know almost nothing about it, right? I happen to be a big fan of Claude AI. If you know, to me, that's the only ethical one. And so I was like, okay, I saw that you were into this, and I thought, okay, I've got to do some digging, and I want to, do it really quick and try to understand. And so I would have filled out the free whatever it was that I found online to tell me what my gene keys are. And then it came back with here's the analysis of it. And there was a specific part, and I'm gonna pull up the report so I can tell you, but there was a specific part where it got to my evolution,
Mhm.
and that was the one that the first few were like, okay, this totally aligns, right? I mean, like that makes sense, but that one was like, oh wow, this is opening up something and explaining something that I had just had a revelation for like a week or so before. And it's like no matter where we are in life, we think, oh well, a certain part of life, where you are and what you're going to do. I'm like, no, it's always evolving and expanding, and I really got clear on what do I want and where do I fit the best in, I think, with my strengths and my interest. Where does that fit in terms of where should I dedicate my time and not swim upstream all the time? And that was the one particular area that jumped out at me as being something I wanted to dig deeper on, in the analysis. And also like, well, I think that just explains what I went through the week before. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, so this is really fun.
Okay, well, let me give you a little background how I found it. So I was doing psychedelics. I was doing this thing called Bufo, which we talked about.
Yes, which
And
I've done a couple of times legally, by the way. If anybody does it, do it legally. Make sure
yep,
it's legal because it could be kind of unsafe in the wrong hands with the wrong
with the
facilitator.
wrong people.
Yeah, yeah,
So
but
I
it's
would
beautiful.
have had these profound experiences, but then I would come back to myself and I would just be this normal human being struggling. And one day, the man that I had served Bufo, who served me Bufo, he had this thing called heart medicine. And I was on heart medicine, and I don't know why somebody had been telling me about their gene keys, and I listened to it and I felt the truth.
Hmm.
And it turns out it's a living, breathing system. It's a prophecy, and supposedly it's what do they call it? I'm going to forget the name. It's something that was put in the earth to be discovered 2,000 years later.
Oh, wow.
And that Richard Wright is the one who it was channeled through. And so it's based on the I Ching, which is, I don't know a lot about it, but this ancient symbology. But what I love about it is, and it's also based on human design.
That's what I've
And
heard. And yeah, and I'm just got a glimpse into that like a month earlier. So this is, yeah.
What Richard said, why he transformed human design system into this, is he felt like the human design system was too boxy. It didn't allow people to evolve and grow, and he saw that we're here to evolve and grow.
Ah,
So I'm going to pull up your chart, and I can walk you more through it and explain more about what's happening. Um,
and just so everybody knows, it asked me to enter my birth, my birth year. So now everyone knows how old I am, and my birth date, and I think the time of, just like you would do with astrology. I think it's pretty much the same information that you put in. Where were you born, and what time, and all that stuff. So that's the background for it, just so people.
so what the gene keys is, it's a journey. It's a journey of your soul, and it talks about these outer. And so this is my understanding of it to date. And so what I've learned about the gene keys is, as I study it, and I've been doing it for about 3.5 years, 4 years, pretty religiously, like a daily contemplation, seeing what I see. And so it keeps evolving. So I just want to say whatever I see is for this moment, and other people see different things because it's from their perspective.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So the outer, the life's work, your evolution, your radiance, and your purpose are your soul's gifts. And the 45 and 26 are your outer expression. So you don't have all the gifts here. I don't know if they're on there because I forget them all, but they have what's called a shadow, a gift, and a city. And the shadow is when we're just in our human nature. We're constricted. We forget that have any kind of eternal nature. There's this thing called consciousness that lives in us. And it's a very constricted, painful experience. The red is what's called the Venus sequence, and it's the innermost journey, and it goes into how you do your relationships. And it starts with your purpose, but it goes to your attractor field, and it has your karma and dharma, like who you're going to attract in your life, so that your soul will evolve and learn how to realize its eternal nature. And it goes from the IQ, which is laid down between the ages of 14 to 21. Then it goes to your emotional intelligence, which is your EQ, and that's 7 to 14. Your SQ is your heart, it's your physical intelligence, and that's from 0 to 7. And this is at the moment of conception, is it's called your vocation or your core.
Okay, so yeah, I was going to ask you, when you're saying those numbers, is that just on a scale somewhere, or is that you're talking about ages?
No, there's in it,
Yeah.
there is qualities that are associated with each one. So your 19th gene key, this one right here, this is your heart, and it goes from codependence to sensitivity to sacrifice. But it's talking about, what I love about this is so that we can see that we live in a very codependent world. What you do impacts me.
Right.
And we get locked in that, and that's a pattern. But it was laid down in humanity so us to survive. All of this is intelligent. But when people feel that codependence, or what he calls a constriction, our minds usually take over, our emotions take over, and we want to get out of the body. We want to go put it on somebody else. We want to blame somebody else. You did this, so I'm this.
Yeah.
And what this is saying, no, come back inside yourself. You're an autonomous being. You have the capacity to be with your energy and have sovereignty over it, have inner authority. But can we begin to be with the patterns that cause the discomfort and pain and see them? And see there are patterns, and other people are just triggering that frequency.
Okay, makes sense. Now, can I interject a question?
Yeah, please.
Is in your perspective, because in my kind of view of life is that a lot of this kind of stuff, like you come into this life in order to learn certain things, right? And then before you're born, that you kind of make some decisions about what do I want to learn and go through in that lifetime. And then you might pick that day and time and place of birth to align with those lessons. Would that make sense with how you see it?
Yeah,
Okay.
perfectly.
Okay. Yeah,
To the T.
and whoever's listening, like you don't have to necessarily believe in the reincarnation or any of that if you don't, but I do, and I like this idea of like we have free will before we're born, when we're planning out what do we want to learn and what experiences and some of the people we want to meet, and then free will when we get here, how are we going to act on that, right?
Right. And
Right.
how can we, supposedly with Richard Rudd, we're all walking ourselves home, as Ram Dass says,
Yeah.
is we're all here to wake up and realize our inner nature, this divine being that we are. And to do that, we need to close our energy system and begin to be with our own energy and clean out the old patterns so that we can become more and more neutral and the light can shine through. Does
Sounds
that make
good.
sense?
Yeah. Yeah. Good. Okay. I just wanted to add that framework in case anybody, like
Yeah.
wanted to look at it from that perspective. Okay, good. I'm listening.
So the blue is how you go out into the culture and share your gifts. And it's called the Pearl sequence. And that's not out of all the sequences, I'm going to be honest with you, it's not my strength. I just haven't cracked that code yet, which would probably explain my business and where I am. My love has been in the Venus sequence and the gifts, and I'm just beginning. But it's like your culture is like, how do you go out? So you have a culture of 50, and it's about equilibrium and harmony. And how do you bring harmony and harmony within yourself and harmony out into the universe so they're both connected, and harmony into the culture?
Sounds
That's
good.
what you're here to bring.
Yeah.
The pearl is, from my understanding, it's the essence of your essence. And and it's like your soul's signature. It's like your song, your note, and the essence of you and this being of eternal being. And it's not something you can go get or work at. It's just who you are. And when we do this work, it's like all of our layers, the onion peel back,
Right.
and you become more and more of that. It's like your fragrance, your note, your signature. And everybody has one. And what he's saying is that there's 64 expressions or patterns of consciousness that are expressed through humanity that are unique, that are repeating,
Okay.
and that we're part of it. And what these patterns do is they show us, they give us a map of how to start unlocking these higher codes that are in our DNA. This is intelligence that lives in me, it lives in every human being. And based on our attitude and our will, we can unlock these codes. And you happen to have kind of like the secret code, his whole methodology is in the 25th gene key, which is your emotions. It's in your emotional house. And it's how do you allow, accept, and embrace whatever you're experiencing. And most
Okay.
people we don't like how we feel. It's very difficult to sit with pain and discomfort. But when we learn to trust it and we slow down and can be with it, as my mother would say, there's a pony in the manure.
Yeah.
That energy of that pain and discomfort actually turns into a higher vibration. It's like, have you ever seen those magic tricks where they pull out a scarf
Right.
and it starts with one color, but it ends up with another?
Yeah.
That's this, when we allow ourselves to be in our humanity and we feel it and experience it, that pain can turn into ecstasy.
I think that's really interesting too, because I think that there's so much of our society that's like, oh, pain, no, 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 no. And instead of, there's something to learn, there's a message here, right?
Yeah,
There's
there's
something to transcend, right?
yeah, I just was talking to my partner who was telling that he is dissatisfied. And that's one of the gene keys. It's the 58. And that dissatisfaction makes us hungry to go change in the outer world.
That's right. That's what I've told people is like if something's bothering you, that's a message of maybe something you can work on or way you can contribute to the world. I mean, it's not, we got to learn from that, right? So yeah,
That's it.
no, I'm cool. I'm with you. I'm tracking.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. Yesterday I was working with a client and he is an interior designer and he was saying he was bored and everybody was making him wrong for it. And once
Mm,
he honored what he was bored as, he was tired of all the minute details. His soul wants more creativity. So just like
ah,
you said, the learning,
yeah,
his
right,
soul was longing to have more creative expression.
right.
So
There,
that's when we can honor it.
that's great.
What else do you see? What other questions
Well,
so
I
far?
guess, where do you want to hone in? Like I said, the only one that I kind of was looking at, and I can tell you what I got from the report, but I'm still kind of want to hear what you think and what you see in all of this. If you were reading this and saying, okay, here, Brownell, here's where I think, you're whatever it is, opportunities or challenges or however you want to look at it.
So your radiance is the one that I went, oh my God, like, please be still my pounding heart. And I do this with every gene key profile, but it's because we're all unique.
Yeah.
You have the 22nd gene key in your profile, and it's one of the two gene keys out of the 64. I mean, I fall in love with each one for different reasons, but the 22nd is about the involution of divinity into human form. And that's what the 22nd is it's the divine wants to incarnate and be in human form. And that's what your 22nd is. And it's a very mystical, profound gene key because in that gene key, there's 7 underneath it. And he has a whole book on this gene key called The Sacred Seals.
Ah,
And it's here to help heal humanity. And so the shadow is dishonor. And it's where do I dishonor what I feel? Am I aware of it? Where do I push it to the side? And the gift is graciousness. Can I be
hmm.
gracious with myself?
And it's
And
funny, 'cause the word grace has been kind of popping up in my vocabulary. Like I need to give grace to myself if I don't finish this project or
oh,
if I go in a different direction. So that word actually has been, and then I'm writing a sequel or kind of a spinoff to the Art and Science of Wishing. And I was writing like, and it's one's called The Art and Science of Wishing at Work. And it's basically mainly targeted to companies or organizations or a big, massive change, right? And change is difficult, right? And wishing by definition is change, right? We're wishing for something to change. And I was writing like, you know, yes, in these organizations, leaders need to model the change, but we also need to have grace that they're going to be human, right? That we're
mhm.
all going to be human. And the more we don't allow ourselves to be human, then we don't give ourselves the grace and we're kind of not living our true life, right? Our authentic life. So yeah, it's a good word.
So what's beautiful about the gene keys is Richard Rudd's system is all about contemplation. And he talks about using the mind. It's the difference between like mindfulness and Zen, like the meditation of just letting things go by, the neutral witness, and the Zen where you concentrate on one
Mm,
thing. It's like both of it, and using the mind as a tool. And what I've loved about it is that when I think of grace, I can have thoughts about grace, but then I can emotionally feel like what emotions come up when I feel grace.
mm,
Like, what is it that I get to experience? And so, if we both wanted to do it right now, we could both see what we see. And then your body starts to feel that vibration. And then you imagine, well, like you contemplate, like, I wonder what sensations I feel when I have grace.
right.
And so I'm using my mind to explore something, and I can always see something new.
And how does grace feel different from like forgiveness is a whole different thing. There is a different energy to
Mhm.
grace versus forgiveness, right? So that's really lovely.
And it's also, Brunel, your experience. This is why I love the gene keys. You're a unique being, which is your 10th gene key. It's all about being. It goes from self-obsessed to naturalness to being. You're a unique being, a unique expression of this divine nature. And when everybody becomes their unique expression, will all come back into the one, is what he's pointing to.
Oh, nice. That's a nice
But
way.
how you experience grace will be different than how I experience it.
Right.
And that's what's so beautiful.
And
And
probably experience and express,
yes,
right?
yeah.
Right. There's a little nuance there.
Mhm.
Lovely.
And then the other part is like, can I notice when I dishonor myself? Like, what does that feel like? And not make it wrong. It's part of nature to dishonor. That was part of the programming.
Hmm.
And the more we can become gracious with my dishonoring.
Interesting.
What do you hear in that?
Um, well, just that, yeah. Well, that there is and in fact, I used the word grace in a social media post without going down too much of a rabbit hole on that. But it's just like there are people that are changing their mind, and that are awakening, and they may have come from a disconnected place, and they are, and some of them are awakening, and it's easy to be judgmental and not trust, and that division between, okay, well, you were down this road and I couldn't agree with that and I couldn't follow you there, to maybe they're deciding that they were going the wrong direction, and we need to have grace for them as they awaken, basically,
Yeah,
right? And they and it's and yes, we have to be cautious with our trust, because are they going to change again, or have they really changed, or are they really ready? But the word grace has really kind of been something that's popped up a lot for me lately, because it is about, okay, let's have some grace. We can be cautious, but let's have some grace, for people that are willing to change, and willing to shift from maybe a very destructive mindset or path to one um, that's that's seeing a better way. Let's put it that way.
yeah. I love that. It's what what Richard opened up to me, and in this 22nd gene key, is that we're all going home to the divine mother, the divine feminine, the formless. And he talked about three teachers, Thoth, the Buddha, and Jesus were three avatars that came out of that to teach us, or streams. I'm not going to get it all, but it all comes back to the divine mother, this wild feminine energy that's part of us, and the unity between the feminine and masculine in me.
Yes. Beautiful.
And so we are all going to go there. It's just a matter of timing. And you know what our soul's journey is? I don't know. I don't know what other people's soul's journey is
Right.
every time. Yeah.
Well, I like to say, also some people, when we get here, we might have our roadmap of what we thought we wanted to go through, but we can decide whether to take the high road or the low road, right? And some are taking the longer way there. It might go through the darker alleys than the rest of us need to, but it's hopefully all supposed to get us there.
So
So
your 26 gene key, I forget it. I believe it's the 26 is the trickster.
yes,
It's your evolution. Your soul came here to evolve that and to further that, like this capacity, I think it's artistry is the gift, is where, and is it artistry and mastery? I just went blank on the 26th. I apologize.
no, that's okay. I can tell you what I got, because this
Yeah,
might help, because you can tell me whether this tracks with you or not. It's called the Sacred Trickster is what I
yeah,
got. And it is, there's three levels. The first level is pride, needing
yeah,
recognition, using your will to impose rather than invite, ego driven manipulation. The gift is artfulness, using
Yes.
creativity, storytelling, and even positive manipulation to move people's hearts to higher frequencies.
Oh,
And then invisibility is creating vast ripples of awakening that influence all life to thrive without anyone ever seeing you do this. And this is where it was, kind of a really interesting opening for me. Um, it says the 26th gift love's attention is designed to draw attention. It represents the love of marketing, of dressing something up so others will buy into it. Though through the gift of artfulness, your ego naturally becomes an art form. At the higher frequency, freed from fear, the 26th gift sells itself through love. And so the things in here were the storyteller, obviously, being the storyteller that I am. And I always tell people, I'm not, even though I wrote a book about the science of wishing, it's like I'm a storyteller, not a scientist. And the recognition thing was really interesting, because that was the kind of the revolution that I went through, or that I had, um, a few weeks ago. I was talking to a PR company, and they're like, yes, sign with us and we can make you this big name, and we can brand you, and we can put you in all these places, and you can be all this stuff, and we've got these people with millions and millions of followers, etc. And then it put me into a real like thinking process, like, what do I really want? And I've been applying to do TEDx talks, so I'm hoping to land one of those. And of course, I've got my new book, and I'm doing a lot of fun podcast interviews like yours. And I'm also launching what I call the Cosmic Wish Experiment, where people can do wish circles and start uniting people toward common visions and wishes, and bring back kind of the power of collective wishing. And and it was so interesting because once I realized, like you said, I was kind of out of alignment with what that PR company was telling me I needed to do. And I came back and I was like, what am I most comfortable in? And the two roles that I'm most comfortable in are the creation role, right? And the storytelling and creation role, and the support role. And so it helped me reshape my vision to, especially like even with the Cosmic Wish Experiment, with this new book, when I'm going to be maybe taking this into companies, is let other people take the spotlight. I can be brought in as kind of like the guest speaker, but also the support. Like they're maybe the ones bringing it out into the world in a bigger way. The people starting the wish circles, or the people taking it into their coaches and consultants, taking it into their companies. And I get to be in my comfort zone is, how do you need help? How can I help you? That's where I feel most comfortable. And that was a big thing, because it's like, yeah, I could go and try this, but that's not this look at me, look at me, look at me is not my comfort zone. I love getting in front of on a stage and doing a talk, like those are fun, but that's not the same thing as, making it about me. It's not about me, it's about the message. So
So you're right there is from my point of view,
yeah.
it's an energetic. And so the gene keys are premised that we all are afraid. And what's happened is human beings have become afraid of being afraid.
Yeah.
And when we feel the body and we feel that energy, there's a constriction, there's a tightening.
Yeah.
And what happens is emotions and thoughts come in to hide it. So we won't be present with it. And then it's driving the bus.
Right.
And what happens is that when we learn how to be with pride, for me, it's my control, something softens and another intelligence comes in it's a different vibration. It has a different frequency and we can feel it. So your ego, like I'm just going to use this as an example, and I'm not saying this is it, is, oh, I don't want to be the center of attention. Could be, well, I'm afraid, but I'm not aware of it. And so I tell a different story. And I'm not saying this is you, I'm just giving
Yeah.
an example. But when I learn how to be with that energy, the gift of it is artistry, which takes that ego and dresses it up in any way it wants to get its message across, and will do anything it needs to deliver the message, because it's coming from love. And that's the power of this.
Yeah. Yeah, and I get that is an important distinction is, is it something I'm afraid of, or is this the guidance to give me to
Yeah.
what is my comfort zone and what is my path, right? And it was and but I have in my first book called Five Reasons Why Bad Things Happen. I have a kind of an expression like when you're feeling the free, face it, feel it, free it. Like,
Yes.
because we get so, oh no, I can't absorb. Like, no, get the message, understand, face it, and
Ah,
feel it, and then you can free it, right?
that's
So,
it.
yeah.
So Brunel, that what you just said, it's his message in a different way. It's
Mm,
the same thing.
yeah.
That's it. And the minute we can feel whatever our shadows are, there's a huge gift in it.
Right. And that's what
And
I was feeling. My shadow was like trying to have me dress up as something I'm not, right? But
yes,
how do I still get into, um, how do I still get my message across? Like you said, like, is there a way to still get, I don't want to just create in a vacuum and not have it reach the world. Although this message in here was like, and release it and not, not care who gets it. There is the idea of that, but it's the fact that it's got to have its life of its own beyond me.
yes. So what's so interesting, your attractor field, which is 10, you just did your to the T, you just articulated perfectly your 10th gene key
Hmm.
because you got self-obsessed. Is this me? Is this me? And what happened is I watched you go, oh, this doesn't fit. That's my natural self. It doesn't fit. So I'm going to release it and let other people. Like you just went through your, this is your attractor, is your karma. What you're here, your soul's here to learn,
Yeah, it's really
attract the experiences.
Yeah, it's really powerful because then there is an important nuance to it, which is not that I feel destined to be in a support role for someone else's stuff,
Mhm.
right? But I don't need to be it's not about me, it's about the message. It's the message, not the medium, or
Mm.
however that expression goes. And it was like, okay, so I'm going to create, and then I'm going to let other people, join in on it and
Ah,
deliver it to the world. And I get to support them because I'm happy in a support role. Like they get to know that I'll be there to support them, but they can take the stage too, you know.
yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, you've walked through your gene keys. You're living your gene keys. So that's the thing. It's not a fixed system. You're living it. You're
Right.
facing your challenges. You're recognizing it, and then you're doing what your book said: face it, feel it, free it.
Yeah.
That's it to
Right.
the
And
T.
so everybody that's watching saw my birthday. And so now, this is, I'm not a young person, but look how, even at a certain age, just keep evolving and learning about myself. And it's like, wow, there's still so much more to learn and do. And that's what it's really powerful.
And that's what's so fun to talk to you, is because you're still like, oh, what else can I learn? What else can I see?
Yes, and I like
That's
that creation mode, but I also can't just create and let it sit there and then do the next creation. It does need to have a place in the world, but find the right way to do it, and it just feels really right. It felt like so sure, and then that got the validation with what I got from here.
that's beautiful. Okay, we're coming to a close, our time. Any
Okay.
last questions about the gene keys or anything else I can answer?
Well, I just think I think what it would be fun for anybody watching and listening is how do you help others? I mean, you just helped me, and we going through it, and how does it work within your practice? And how how it works for you would be what I'd like to kind of end with.
So I really love to work. What I want people to be is their authentic self. I want them to have what I call inner authority. I want them to find what's true for them, just like you did about what's true for you about this marketing company.
Yeah.
To me, if we have inner authority, then we can live authentic lives. We can have a healthy life because we're living, the energy's flowing and it's true. And these gene keys help me use language and see patterns that help liberate energy and help people become accountable to how they're feeling and seeing the gift in it, that there's nothing wrong with them. So it's another tool that I use to help free people and liberate their energies so they can have their authority and live the lives they want.
That's beautiful. Yeah, one
So,
thing I'm really feeling from this is it's not shying away from the shadow or whatever word you want to use, yet it's also not framing it as a bad thing.
mm-mm.
And so it makes it all good if in a way. And I honor that. Like whenever somebody's like, "Oh, here you want to reframe this, or you want to say this way," I'm like, I'm not going to frame something like I'm not going to do if I do get a TED talk, I'm not going to talk about the dark, the bad thing and what and then how I can make it better. It's more like, let's look at it and learn from it. And
So,
this has just been really lovely.
yeah, thank you, Brunel. It's beautiful. And as I said, your 22nd, check it out. You're a very powerful being.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, so are you. And this has been fun. And so I hope, I know we're gonna put it on your show, but I also want to share it. And so
Mhm.
we're gonna make sure people know how to reach you and learn more about this.
And people go back, look at our last podcast and check out Brunel's book about her wish. Give it the title again, Brunel.
It's The Art and Science of Wishing. So you can see.
Yep. Beautiful.
And I'm thrilled, and that's what I want to do. That's my wish, is to get the message out to the world. So
Oh,
it's been really great.
it's beautiful. Thank you, Brunel.
Thank you. Bye.